What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tape Never Lies pregame show. I'm Ivan Vargas. Bears, Lions, happy Thanksgiving to all. Hope you guys are enjoying your time with your families today and eating all that delicious food that I'm sure that's being prepared. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, well, hopefully you have a good day anyway. So here we are, another week, another hopeful performance, or hopefully another better performance by the Chicago Bears offense. I'm hopeful for it with the way that things have been looking the past 2 weeks. The Bears have obviously been on a 5-game losing streak, so it's not perfect. Like it's not fixed, but it is looking better. Caleb Williams' confidence is looking better, and honestly, Thomas Brown has a lot to do with that. So hopefully we could continue to see this progression with the best team, or one of the best teams in the NFL, coming today on Thanksgiving in Detroit. Here we go, Gable, let's go. Thank you for joining us. DeLeon, happy Thanksgiving to you. Critical Drinker, I appreciate it. We will enjoy the turkeys and the stuffing and the ham and all the other good stuff that's going to be put on the table. Let me know what you guys are eating out there. I'm sure I'll have a bunch of other stuff. Usually the Puerto Ricans, you break out the pernil, I got some Puerto Rican rice. I'm sure that's going to be at the house. That's right, Phil, Puerto Rican rice. I know you're out there. What's up, Sean? How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you, bro. But yeah, looking forward to seeing more progression from Caleb. I talked about it before. That's the main focus for me the rest of the way. Winning, yes, I want to see some winning, obviously, but my main focus, and the Chicago Bears' main focus as of right now, should be the progression of Caleb Williams and the offense. And Caleb Williams first, like the offense, as Caleb goes, the offense goes in my eyes. So as long as he's progressing, as long as he's continues to show that confidence that he's been showing the past couple weeks, I'm not going to be happy, especially with losses, but I will be excited to see where Caleb Williams can take this team in the future. As of now, it is what it is. We're here. We're on a 5-game losing streak outside of the playoffs. It's not looking great for our chances there at all, if there's any chance left. But the Bears themselves have to, they have to take a look with it, because you are in critical territory right here, right? 5-game losing streak, best team in the NFL coming to town, or not coming to town. You're going to Detroit to face the best team in the NFL on Thanksgiving. I know it's 11:30, but everybody's going to be watching that game. I'm afraid that this team might blow us out, right? I'm afraid that we might get routed here on Thanksgiving. And it's not because of the players. It's not necessarily because of anything that, well, maybe Tyreek Stevenson, but it still falls back on the head coach and the coaching in general as a whole to this point. I know Thomas Brown has been doing some good things, but 2 weeks of okay offense and in losses isn't enough for me. So I need to see more of that, more, like I said, with Caleb Williams, with this offense. But again, this coaching staff has held this team back in pretty much every game. I don't know what game you could point to and say, hey, the Bears really did outcoach them. I still let me pull up the there's let's just take a look at the last 5 games. Washington obviously got outcoached. You had the Hail Mary debacle. You had Tyreek Stevenson, talking or whatever the fuck he was doing. He wasn't focused on the game. And then the excuses on top of that. Then you go to Arizona and it's like you never showed up because you were still focused on getting past that Hail Mary. So you get your ass kicked, by Arizona 29-9. You still have more late game, or excuse me, late in the half and late at the end of the game mistakes. You had that big run at the half in Arizona. You had New England came in during the TTNL tailgate. Again, I wanted that tailgate to be a happy one. At the beginning it was, and then it really wasn't because the Bears ended up playing the game. 3 points. You had Detroit allowing 6 points in the last 2 games. I'm looking at Matt Eberflus to probably give you some more headaches, give us some more frustration. It always seems to me like when the Bears have something going for them, a mistake by the coach or a non-play, just something, a non-challenge call, something from this head coach comes back and just once again holds us back from getting over the top and becoming a winning football team. Clock management, game management, personnel management, it's all shite. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this game because it could go one way. The Bears can show up and this offense can continue to show some progression, and this defense can put up a fight on a short week against the top team, or they once again come in unprepared and they get blown out. And I really don't think there's an in between there. I think they either put up a great fight or they just get their asses kicked. Like, I don't think the Bears are going to pull this one out. I don't think they're regardless of what they do. I feel like there's going to be a moment where Matt Eberflus shows you once again why he shouldn't be the head coach of this football team. What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving, Robert. Peace, man. Happy Thanksgiving, John S. Appreciate you guys. Yep, shootout or boat race. That's pretty much what I got. It's either a shootout or a boat race. The Bears, if you want to look back at last year's performances and say, oh, the Bears should have beat them twice. Well, woulda, shoulda, coulda. They fucking didn't. Why didn't they do it? Once again, critical mistakes, late in games, clock management, game management. What do you think? Who do you think's at fault here? I mean, it's rhetorical, obviously, but there's only one man to point to at this point. It's Eberflus. It's Eberflus's team. It's Eberflus's philosophy. It's Eberflus's lack of preparation. It's Eberflus's, I guess, laissez-faire discipline approach, like just or lack thereof. Accountability is nowhere until somebody starts calling your ass out about it. It's just who we are. It's who the team has become under this guy, and it sucks. It really does suck. I want to see a guy come in here or just somebody who has an idea of how they want to run a football team, right? Who has done it before, a Mike Vrabel, or who has been around coaches that know what the fuck they're doing in a Ben Johnson, going up, speaking of speaking of the Lions, Ben Johnson on the other side of the ball for us. This is kind of a showcase for me, in my eyes, for this Bears team to take a look at how this offense runs for Detroit. Take a look at how this operation is being run in Detroit, because it did start out kind of rough, but quickly got settled down, and now Detroit is 10-1 for the first time in 80 years or something like that. You got guys in Detroit believing. You got a coach who has established, his mindset and his philosophy. He's instilled it into his team. You got a whole city behind him believing. And here we got our guy, right? We got Matt Eberflus, who continues to say everything's all right. We have everything exactly the way we want it. Remember Washington, we had everything the way we wanted it. Those yards don't matter. Green Bay, those yards don't matter. We were right where we wanted. Right where we wanted to take the fucking loss. And I'm sick of it. Detroit has been playing tremendous football all season long. You got to give credit to their quarterback, Jared Goff, and obviously Ben Johnson for their ascension to the top of the offensive ranks in the NFL. Jared Goff, looking at his rating so far this season, there's only 4 games where he had a sub 100 rating. And that was, one of them was the first game against Indy. They ended up winning. The third game against Houston, they ended up winning. And then the last 2 games, against a loss against Tampa, 20-16, and then the overtime win against LA. I'm sorry, that was at the beginning. Sorry, I'm looking at this upside down. It was the last game was the Indy game where he had a 93.4 rating. The first 2 games of the season, he had an 85.0 rating against the Rams in the overtime win, and then the loss to Tampa, he had a 61.7 rating. And then from then on, other than that Houston game, he's been on fucking fire. He had that perfect game against Seattle, 18 of 18. He almost did it again, I believe, in Minnesota. Yeah, he was 22 for 25 against Minnesota. So he's been playing lights out, and our secondary, as of late, has not. So that gives me some concern. Even with the veteran presence of Byard, it just hasn't been good. Tyreek Stevenson, Dave Kaplan on Cap and J Hood, I believe it was yesterday, was saying Tyreek Stevenson shows up late to meetings, So who knows where his fucking mind is? Who knows where, what's going to come of him after this season? But hopefully he can, have his head on straight for at least four quarters and, make himself a presence out there. Because not only do you have Jared Goff, he's throwing to some top receivers. I'm on around St. Brown. You have Jamison Williams. You got a bunch. You got running backs and Jahmyr Gibbs. You got obviously our guy Demo, David Montgomery. It's a Sam Laporta. How did I forget Sam Laporta? It's like a murderer's row of playmakers. You pick your poison here. They can do it. They can go after you anyway, through the air, through the ground. And it's very concerning for me going into this game and how this defense, with the lack of pass rush, I know they got to the quarterback 3 times last week, but the lack of pass rush that they've been showing in recent weeks, the secondary, they stop a guy like Justin Jefferson, but then they let Jordan Addison go off for 160-some yards. So it's very, like I said, very inconsistent so far. You wish that this Bears team can find some balance between the offense and the defense. But right now it seems now that the offense is clicking, the defense is on a decline, when it was flipped at the beginning of the year. So again, it all goes back to these coaches and the way that they've built this team and the way that they operate. Looks like we might have, there he is. There's my guy. Bring him in. Let me go ahead and pull this. There he is.
What's going on? How's it going?
It's going good. I'm just expressing my concerns about today with how the offense of the Detroit Lions has been playing and how Jared Goff has been on fire all season long. The weapons that they have, I'm a little scared that this might end up being a blowout. I don't really see any type of in between. I think it's either the Bears, show up and surprise us, or they just get run out the damn building.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of speculation about how this game is going to go. Surprisingly, some people think the Bears could. Some people who like to predict and be on the edge with the hot take that the Bears might come out and shock the world. But I think it's just going to be either, like you said, either a competitive game or you're going to get a shellacking. And but I think what I'm thinking is that this offense is going to keep pace somewhat. They're going to keep putting points up, but we're not going to be able to keep up. And it might be, I think it could be a game where they play where, you have smart coaches over there on that side of the ball, where they got two running backs. I guess I know Montgomery had a shoulder, but I'm guessing that if has he showed up on the inactive list
No,
at all?
he showed up today with Jahmyr Gibbs, so I think he's going to be playing. Let me go ahead and double check
Yeah.
that though.
Yeah, and obviously Montgomery loves to play against the Bears, a team that let him go, who he should have had on this team right now, and not spending a bunch of money on Swift, even though Swift has had some explosive plays for us and done some really good things. But imagine Montgomery, in this offense right now. But that's here.
Yeah.
And not whatever the
Neither here nor
saying is,
there.
they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
here or there, or woulda, coulda, shoulda. But
Yeah.
you know, I think he's going to take those two guys and pound the ball and play a little bit of keep the ball away from us and throw us off and keep that defense on that field and just wear them out. That's what I would do, knowing that we don't have the bodies, we don't have the depth within the interior of our defense, and I'm going to pound the ball, and then we're going to play action ball.
Mhm.
And let's keep this up and coming Bears offense off the field. We know DJ could go off. We know Keenan. All these guys have the potential. I think we're built up to a point where somebody can go off. Everybody's going to involve, but it's going to be that one particular person that goes off. Keenan Allen last week. So I think Detroit is not cocky where they will overlook us. Understand the two coordinators who are going to be guys who are on a lot of people's lists for head coaching positions, and you got Dan Campbell at the top of it. They're going to be smart,
Yeah.
So, but I think it could be either or. That's what makes it interesting again to come tune in, not only just to see the progression of Caleb Williams, Thomas Brown, but also to see what this Bears team is going to do. Not been bad games. If you look at it, as terrible as we've been, we just know how to fudge it up at the end of the game. We've been in very competitive games, and I think that trend would continue. But there is a potential that if there's going to be a team that separates and puts us away, it could be the Detroit team.
Yeah, and I was just saying, this is if for the Bears brass up top, I want them to pay attention to how it's the game is operated on that side of the ball. Pay attention to how they're doing things and how this operation is ran in Detroit. Because if there's any type of model that you want to mimic and you want to try to be like, it's Detroit and what they've done with Dan Campbell, with their GM, what they've brought, the physicality, the tenacity, and the grit. That's their whole model. That is what we need in Chicago. That should be the Chicago Bears way as well. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for a guy like Kevin Warren, for a guy like Ryan Poles to just be like, okay, here's a guy like Ben Johnson. Here's how this is operating. Here's how he runs the offense. Look at Dan Campbell. Look how this defense with Aaron Glenn is being. This is a perfect opportunity for the Bears to go ahead, take notes, and get ready for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's opportunity for you to look at three potential head coaching candidates. That's Thomas Brown, that's Aaron Glenn, and that's Ben Johnson. All in this one game that you're going to get to see potential. And obviously with Thomas Brown, it's his continuing. We know he has these leadership qualities and how he's taken over this offense, and that's what you want to look for when you look for a guy. It's not, hey, can he do it with the whole team? Is he taking his unit and really leading them? I mean, he's taken his unit in 2 games and is just transformed a team that was lacking on receiver routes, guys saying certain things in the media, just everything has elevated. Is it perfect? No, but everything has elevated where we are putting up really good numbers. And, the most important thing is Caleb Williams' play. It's been through the roof. And he's had us, and he's pulling off really good at the end of the game, putting us in position to win. And that's what you want your quarterback to do. And this guy is giving the confidence to him and run the right offense. So you're looking at him. Look at Aaron Glenn, how he's progressed in Detroit the last 3 years, taking that defense and having them to a level where they are one of the best defenses in the NFL, minus Aiden Hutchinson. So you want to look at that. And then we obviously everybody's on everybody's tongues and mouths is Ben Johnson, my number one guy. No matter, I'm going to stand. We all can disagree. Me, you, Shayne, and Phil. This is my guy leading the pack so far. As far as what I want, as far as the vision, knowing that he's been under Dan Campbell, I'm going to take I'm going to take that he's going to bring some of that with him. He's not under a guy where you don't take something from his leadership qualities. That's the thing that Dan Campbell has. He's the leader of this group. And if you're an offensive coordinator, D coordinator, you're going to take something from your head coach. It's just like anything that I do. I learned a lot of stuff that I do in coaching from Frank Lenny, the legend at Mark Carmel. A lot of things that I say, you take your spin and do your own thing as a head coach when you're in a leadership position. Even as me at work, I still lead in a certain way, a way Frank Lenny taught us. So my style might be a little different, but I took a lot of quality. So I'm thinking that a guy like that under Dan Campbell, passionate coach, loves his players. And I say Ben Johnson was the guy when he decided he was coming back to Detroit. Right. And I looked at the interview with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He said he called each and one of his offensive players to let him know, I'm back. We're going to run this thing up again. So that I look for those things. Those are players respond to that. I'm talking from a player's perspective. You're looking for a coach that's going to put you in a position to be successful. Not only to win, you want your portfolio is everything as a player. Your portfolio to earn money and gain that big contract. Your legacy to be able the ability to make Pro Bowls and all pro selections and the ability to get in the playoffs, have success, potentially to get the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Those are the things, and and that's important. And they also come with bonuses, and there's notoriety, and there's endorsements. So that's what players look for. A coach is going to put them in position to be successful, and I think that resonates from coach to players. And then I don't know how he holds people in check. We'll have to find that out. But that's my number one guy. But there's 3 candidates going off in this game today. It's going to be making it interesting to see if the Bears can keep up with the number 1 team. And I say the number 1 team in Detroit because I think you match them up against Kansas City. That there's a little something. And Kansas City's been great, but a little something Detroit, the edge I think they have right now. That if they continue to play this way and stay fairly healthy, they could be right there to win the Super Bowl. So it's going to be very interesting. And I have a little life, I think, today because I'm in South Carolina. I know y'all know that I'm down here with my lady, her family. We're in Aiken, South Carolina. Made the trip yesterday. Beautiful weather. Got this mild 60s type of weather, where we went on a walk and I'm sweating. It was like a very mild walk, and I'm sweating a little bit. And it's got a breeze and overcast going on. So the fridge is from Aiken. I need to go find where the fridge is, man.
Get the fridge's opinion about the Bears. I guarantee you, it's right along with us.
I think the fridge is over, God bless. Hopefully his health is good. You always hear things about that. And those guys in the 85 Bears are getting older. But last time I know, he had like a house, a little house, a boathouse or something off a lake. Hopefully he's got that fishing pole out there and just enjoying his life, But it's good vibes, man. I'm looking forward to getting ready to tune this game in and doing it all right here in South Carolina. And I wish you all happy Thanksgiving. And enjoy, like I said last time when we did the Bear Down. that you guys enjoy your families, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and again, that was perfectly said, Steve. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out
Yes.
there. Here's our guy, White Phil. White Phil's in the house. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Appreciate y'all. We appreciate you, Phil, Shane, everybody, Cherie. Uh, yeah, it's just a great opportunity for this Bears team. I feel like to get ahead of that coaching, rush that's going to happen. Just because to me, the writing's on the wall with Matt Eberflus. I don't know how you can go to your president as a GM and be like, yeah, I think we need to bring this guy back, regardless of what the rest of the season looks like. Uh, yeah, I just think it's a golden opportunity for them to start taking notes on some of these guys, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, and get ahead of the curve. What's your prediction for today, Steve? Before we wrap up, what do you think is going to happen here?
Man, I know a lot of people have come in with the huge numbers. We started on Monday with those 50 to, I just don't know. I mean, I know our defense has kind of been descending. I just don't think that it's going to be that type of score. I think we're going to be in the range of, like, let me just give it right here. Somehow I'm just going to give like a hectic score. I'm going to say 35, and I'm going to say Bears 24. 35 to 24. High scoring game. Go on the overs. What's the over today? I do not know. But I think the Bears continue to put up the offensive numbers. Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams continue to progress. And that's saying a lot. I'm putting a lot of, and I said I'm not putting my neck on the line. I hope that I'm wrong. Like I said last week, in the last couple weeks, I hope that I'm wrong, but this is what I feel. What's going to happen? But I just worried, and me even putting out the offense like that, saying they're going to score 28 points or 24 points, as I said, because they're on the road. This is the first time that this team is going to be on the road. We haven't fared well on the road. So a new challenge is out there for Thomas Brown and his offense, and Caleb Williams is dealing with the crowd noise, that offensive line dealing with the crowd noise, that communication. This is another level where we're going to see from him and Caleb. But most importantly, him. I think he leads everything, and everything trickles down to Caleb. I think if he's got a good plan in place, he's have his offensive coaching staff on point, it's going to trickle down to Caleb, and I think Caleb is receiving that teaching, that coaching, those game plans, and if they, and he has a good game plan. I'm very confident in him executing that. But still, you can have a good game plan, and everything can go to awry when you can't hear the snap count, miscommunication. So I'm still confident, but that is something I'm very worried about. It's our potential to play on the road with this offense, which has been non-existent. But I'm hoping that the trending arrow up on this offense can go on the road and travel and put on a good performance and continue to make us feel good about in a very dark time for the Chicago Bears. That glimmering light of Caleb Williams and Thomas Brown continues to be the thing that makes us feel good, regardless of a loss.
Yeah, that little light of ours, right? Caleb Williams, just let him shine. Just let him shine all day.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at too, Steve. Like, it's our focus now is Caleb's development and how and to protect him going forward, and what we should be putting around him come next season. Because you've wasted so many opportunities with your coaching blunders and offense not being on the same page to start the season. Like, you wasted so much of this season. I don't see this team bouncing back and becoming like some miracle playoff team or running the table. It's just not feasible. For me today, I think it's going to be a little bit worse. I think the Lions are going to put the Bears away. I think, we got another guest here. What's up, Shane?
Steve was way too confident, so I had to come in and say 56-13 Detroit. Happy
God
Thanksgiving.
dang. I wanted to say 41. I wanted to say 41.
I was going 43. I was going more like 43 to 20, somewhere like that. But yeah, if that's where you're at, Shayne.
Yeah, I think.
You know what? If Detroit scored 41, that means Gibbs got about 2 touchdowns, and that's really good for my fantasy team.
There you go. There you go.
And he's in the lineup. It was no brainer about that. I'm like, Bears defense against the run, Gibbs 100%. Number one start running back for me this week.
No, I hear you. I think it all. Listen, I think at some point everything is going to crumble in terms of the players' belief in this head coach and what they're doing on a weekly basis. Pat Manley. I mean, I know you know who he is, Steve. For him to come out publicly and say that the players have given up on this head coach, that's a pretty strong statement from a former player and a guy that's involved in the media. And the silver lining out of all of this is in the face of all of the chaos and bullshit, our quarterback is improving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to take out of all of this.
Yeah. And I think it's very glaring what Pat said about this, because you're seeing it. What is he in charge of? Yeah, he's in charge of the whole team, but he's in charge of that defense. And you see the big time slippage on that defense. And then you see a Thomas Brown, and that's why I say he's the shining light and all that. And this helping, even if he's not our offensive coordinator heading into next year or our head coach next year. He is helping his profile out big time because he has lifted this offense up. They're playing with confidence on that side of the ball, and Eberflus, and that's the only thing that's holding that side up that's been so bad this year. They're playing with so much confidence, and the defensive side is just total, which was our strength and which was a team that was a unit that was looked at to be one of the best in the league early in the year now has this totally slid to the bottom of the depths. And it's really bad and it's very glaring. And I don't understand why they don't see that and why you just don't get rid and move on. Everybody, but there's none. There's none. Nobody has confidence. Let's just move on and get some different voices. As you can see, Thomas Brown, what he's done when you made that change for Shane Waldron. Why don't you do it overall? Put Eric Washington ahead. You know, and the reason I say that, I don't want anything to throw off Thomas Brown's play calling. I don't want to add, and get Eric Washington. He give him an opportunity just to lead this group as a whole, and they can do it collaboratively, like they like to say. But we'll see, man. If they, I think Shane is on the record for saying this first. If it doesn't happen this week, we got this dude for the rest of the year.
Yep. I think this is the window, and I know that if you guys are on Twitter much, Sears Tower, the quote-unquote insider, is back providing information from inside Hallis Hall, and he said that there is zero intention of the Chicago Bears moving on from Matt Eberflus in season. He is here until the end of the year, but he is 100% going to be fired, and that is already finalized within ownership and the front office within Hallis Hall. So, take that. And
I just don't understand why.
This guy is completely locked in. He was talking about a lot of stuff last year that came true. He said Daniel Jones like 4 days ago. He said, I don't know what all the fuss is about. He's already decided he's going to Minnesota, and then that broke yesterday, and he talked about it like 3 or 4 days ago.
Wow.
So this is a guy that's plugged in for sure. So it's the Chicago Bears way. It's not right. It's not what I would do, but I think Steve is right. I don't want to put any more on Thomas Brown's plate right now than you focus on 18 and you take care of 18. And we move forward and try to figure out what we're going to do in terms of a coaching staff moving forward. And I think this is important. And I've talked about this. I'm happy with what Thomas Brown has done. I think that there is a lot of people that are out there that are way over the top on what we have seen so far from him. And I'm not trying to talk down the guy, but we have to you have to see. I just hope the Bears don't fucking come into this and say Thomas Brown is going to be the offensive coordinator in 2025, no matter who the head coach is, because then you're starting off the same fucking Chicago Bear way that they always do, by stubbing your toe from Jump Street.
Yeah, but no matter how well he finishes, he can finish great, put up great numbers, and continue to have Caleb and say you cannot do that, because that is just the wrong way. As great as we all feel about him, and like I said, if he finishes strong, you cannot marry him in this arranged marriage.
Can't.
Again, you have to hire a coach, and if it's a defensive coach or offensive coach, no matter whoever it is, they have to go and vet and have to interview and make sure Thomas Brown is a fit. And I'm sure if it's a defensive-minded coach, they would be silly not to interview the guy, but they have to make sure they make that decision. You know what I mean? You cannot force that arranged marriage.
Right, exactly. They've done this with Chris Morgan, and any offensive coordinator worth his salt. I know if that was me, and if I came into the situation and they said, "This is your offensive line coach,"
fuck no,
I'm not your guy. Then see ya.
Yeah. Again, it's a total philosophy change, and it starts at the very top. At the very top, and I know we want to talk. Kevin Warren's the president, but it is a George thing, right? It's a face of the franchise type of thing, and George McCaskey is the face of the franchise as of right now, right? So for me, his philosophy in winning and how to win and who to bring in to win, that needs to change, because I truly feel like they want to win in their image, right? Regardless, like they want to win their way or the highway. There's no other way but that way. You got to bring in somebody that's going to make you uncomfortable. Bring in a Bruce Arians. Bring in a Mike Vrabel. I know that everybody's like, Mike Vrabel's going to ruffle. Well, yes, that's what we need. That's the total philosophy change with this organization that is needed. Will it now? Is Mike Vrabel the guy? No, but the uncomfortability part, however I said that, is the key. Make these guys force change their theories and their ideas on how to win football games.
Yeah, I think it's important that you, like I said, I was adamant about this on Monday. You have to take out the committees. You have to take out the buddy system, the good old boy system. You have to remove what you're comfortable with out of all the equations. And Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren have to sit down and be on the same page, and those two need to be the ones to make the decision. Even them, they have to take out all that crap too, where they feel who they feel like, based on how they feel comfortable. Who's going to help you win, and who's going to come in here with a good strategy. And now, once you make that hardcore decision, it's the synergy, and let him develop his coaching staff. Let him build his coaching staff. Don't marry anybody, but let's not do this committee thing. Let those two guys be the guys who make that decision. And even within those two guys, they have to throw their egos outside and make a good decision. Because this is it. You don't get this thing right. And I said, if we don't get this thing right with this quarterback, we're never going to get it right. We're going to be doomed forever. We might be all long and gone if the Bears ever get it right. You cannot mess this up. So I hope they feel that way as well, and put all their egos aside to make the best decision, because this is getting ridiculous. We're looking like we're absolutely the laughing stock of the NFL and how we handle things, and it's very, very clear how we're doing it, and that we're well deserved too.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, got anything else before we wrap up?
Haven't we been through enough, Ivan?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, thank you guys for jumping on, Steve and Shayne and everybody in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy it. I got Bo over here tearing some shit up, so I'm gonna have to rush this out. But yeah, thanks to everybody joining us in the chat. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families from all of us at TTNL. Make sure you go ahead, if you're a patron, check out the halftime show with Shayne and Phil. And are we doing a halftime show?
Yeah, there is halftime, no BHL. But here's the perfect ender right here. We watch this guy right here.
There we go.
And he's going to crumble. Love you guys. We'll see you later.
All right.